The Maple Leafs look to continue to chug along in November with back-to-back games this weekend. And what the heck is going on with David Kampf? You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On Leafs podcast, a daily Maple Leaf-centric podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host, Dave Morassutti. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. What's happening, Dave? How we feeling on a Friday?
No, feeling pretty good. It's gonna be a jam-packed weekend. First back-to-back weekend in quite a bit for the Leafs.
Yeah, I mean for the weekend possibly, because I know that they didn't have a Friday, Saturday. They might have had a Friday, Saturday scheduled at some point earlier in the year, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. I mean, you got Boston; they're always a tough one. Obviously, they're not the same Bruins they were a year ago, but you got Boston, and then you got Carolina waiting for you the next night. So luckily they're at home, so they won't have to travel. But that's a tough 1-2 punch. Boston and Carolina be a pretty good kind of litmus test for where the Maple Leafs are at here in the month of November. Still undefeated, perfect 3-0 record. We'll see if they can continue that moving forward. We'll tee the game up in just a moment, but there is a big developing story here within the Toronto Maple Leafs, or maybe more so with the Toronto Marlies, however you want to look at it. But so David Kampf, a lot of people familiar with David Kampf, and obviously he's a player who's been with the organization for the last few seasons, and he was a warrior, right? He played pretty well every single night on the fourth line for the last couple of years. Didn't make the team, got sent down to the American League, but apparently has now been suspended by the Maple Leafs organization without pay. What's going on here, Dave? What news do you have regarding this situation?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be one of those situations where Kampf was supposed to be, an unfortunate situation where he doesn't make the team, he's waived, and he's buried in the minors. And I guess he was kind of hoping he would bide his time and wait for, either a trade or the Leafs say, you know what, let's just cut bait. And that hasn't happened. Part of me also wonders, does David, probably David Kampf doesn't want to be waived or have his contract terminated because he still has, this year and next year left.
Yeah, it's a good chunk of change on it, right? Like he's getting paid a decent amount. It's not like he's a league minimum guy. How much is left there? You look at the contract?
He's got obviously 2.5 this year and 2.5 next year. So
is it all base money, or is there any bonus money that was involved there? Like that's what I mean. Like he could still have a lot of money. It's not like I doubt he was a guy who was front loaded, so he's still
he does have. So the thing is, there is a signing bonus at $1.325 million each year of this deal.
Okay, so he's already been paid out 1.325, but that still means that next year the full payday will have to be there for him next season, and he has an opportunity to mutually terminate the contract if he really wants to, and. There are some conflicting reports, but people are starting to wonder if maybe he might be considering that for a chance to get back into the NHL, right? Like, yes, he's being guaranteed, his contracts here with the Maple Leafs, but is there another team maybe that would be willing to sign him, maybe not make him fully whole, but at least sign him to a contract that makes him happy, where it makes sense for him if he wants to get back into the National Hockey League? Could that possibly still be an option, you think? Or is this just going to continue to get ugly? Because right now he was suspended without pay because he's not with the team. He apparently left the team, and I read that he made it seem like he doesn't plan on coming back, reporting back to the Marlies. So for him, it almost sounds like I'm either going to have to go up and play with the Maple Leafs or else lose my number, don't bother calling, or find me a trade because I'm not reporting back to the Marlies. But if they don't find a trade for him and he doesn't report, he doesn't get paid. Like it's kind of an interesting situation. It's a real predicament on both sides here.
It is, and like you talk about what are the options? Like, who's gonna want to take on that deal for this year, next year? Like
nobody. No one wants to take. If there was 1 year left, maybe, but next year, that's the problem. There's a whole other year left there.
We talked about that contract when it was signed, and the problem that contract, like Brad Living, for some reason thought getting Kampf locked up was a must need, and
yeah. I still don't know if it was a true living signing. It was like the guy was on the job for 2 or 3 days. There's no way that he had that much say in.
Yeah, I don't think Brad Living came into the office and said, "All right, David Kampf, where are we at with that?"
Yeah, like, first order of business. Let's get Kampf locked and loaded for the next 4 years. Like somehow, I doubt that's the case, but. Either way, he still signed it. He was the general manager of record when they signed the contract. So ultimately, he could have squashed it if he really wanted to. So he didn't at the end of the day. But it's a real interesting situation because I guess if he doesn't return to the team and they keep him suspended because he's on leave, the cap comes off the books. So that also opens up some cap space. Apparently,
I was reading in the Toronto Star. Why am I blanking on the reporter right now?
McGran, probably.
Yeah, Kevin McGran was saying that his salary is still on the Leafs books. Now, I think that's I think
prior to the suspension.
Well, obviously, there's the cap that comes off, right? That
so
much is buried.
There's still a $1.15 million cap on him.
Yeah.
The rest is buried in the minors. Yeah. Right. So is that cap still on the books then? That 115, even though he's suspended? I thought that it came off. Oh, it is.
No, apparently a league source had told him that 1.15 is still on the books, even if he's suspended.
Which, whatever. It's not like the Leafs are completely up against the cap like they have been in years past. It's not going to kill them by any stretch of the imagination. But what a weird situation. Like I can't recall really anything that's happened like this in recent memory. Can you?
Like Brandon Saad was the closest, where he basically told the Blues,
"Yeah, that's right.
Find me a trade partner if you can't." And remember, Brandon Saad
left money on the deal. He left money on the table.
A lot more money than what David Kampf. I think it was like in the
$4 million.
$4 million range. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I guess there is precedence, and the precedence is teams decide to mutually terminate the contract, and that makes Kampf a free agent to do whatever the heck he wants at that point. And that might be where it leads to. If it is, to be honest, it's kind of a win for the Maple Leafs because you get that contract off the books this year, but more importantly next year, and it's kind of seems like the relationship is spoiled to this point. So even if coming back to the team doesn't feel like it's going to be too good of an idea. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's where they head. Maybe that's where it's headed. And Kampf and his representation potentially trying to see if there's any team that'd be willing to give him even like a $1.5 million contract for the rest of the year to come in. Maybe he'd take that as opposed to playing in the minor leagues in the AHL, bussing everywhere and not getting your full allowance each and every day. So perhaps that could be part of the process here, but definitely something to monitor when it comes to David Kampf here and the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right. On the other side, Dave, we got to tee up tonight's game. We got the Bruins and Canes both coming into town this weekend. Games on Saturday and Sunday. And it's also Hall of Fame weekend in the city of Toronto. So let's remind the good folks who's making it into the Hall and who could be next. You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. The NHL is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel's live bets on everything from who's going to score the next goal to third period comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the Locked On Network.
I'm excited about the new jeans I have arriving soon from Doer, a new sponsor here at the Locked On Podcast Network. I've heard the most amazing things about these jeans, and I can't wait to wear them. I actually just got the shirt in the mail, and the quality of the material is great. And did you know Doer jeans have 5 times the stretch of traditional denim? They're antibacterial, meaning your jeans stay fresh longer, so you can wear them more and wash them less. And they're made with Cool Max that regulates your body temperature and wicks moisture, keeps you cool and comfortable as temperature changes. You know, you don't feel the tear in the thigh anymore because they have the gusset for comfort. Doer combines classic jean wear style with the kind of comfort and performance you get from athletic wear. Best of both worlds. They're designed to look great and stay comfortable all day, no matter what you're doing. Doer are pioneers of blending technical innovation with everyday clothing. They invented the original performance denim. Simply put, Doer makes the world's most comfortable jeans and pants without having to sacrifice style. Trust me, once you try these, they'll be your go-to. And you can check out Doer in store here in Toronto. It's at 44 Ossington Avenue. So pick up a pair for yourself, or you can get them as an amazing holiday gift. Mention our promo code Locked On Toronto in store to get 15% off your first order. Or check them out online, doer.ca/LockedOnToronto for 15% off. That's doer.ca/LockedOnToronto.
Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you as we are each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, with brand new episodes free and available wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube as well with brand new content. You can subscribe for free wherever you get it. All right, Dave. So it's Hall of Fame weekend, and there's actually a bit of a Leaf flare this year because Jumbo Joe Thornton, who spent the last couple of years here in Toronto. Well, I see afterwards he went to Florida, but spent a couple of years here in Toronto. Alex Mogilny spent a few years here in Toronto. Both of those players headlining the class, along with Duncan Keith, who I think a lot of us Torontonians and Canadians love him for what he did for Team Canada. Couple of years, winning a couple gold medals back in 2010 and 2014. Zdeno Chara, been a guy on the opposite end of things who was a thorn in the side of Maple Leafs fans for many years, but he will be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame this weekend. And then Jennifer Botterill and Brianna Decker on the women's side also being inducted. So that's our class of 2026 this year. Congratulations to all those. But most importantly, the guy who we've talked about ad nauseum as a yearly snub candidate, Alex Mogilny, who finally gets in. And he was a trailblazer, man. Like, where the sport would be without Alex Mogilny. For those who don't know the story, I mean, he's the first player to ever defect from Russia to come over and play in North America and play in the NHL. And if he didn't do that, does Fedorov, does Bure, does Malkin, does Ovechkin do that? The NHL probably looks a little different if that doesn't happen. So, and not to mention 500 goal scorer, Stanley Cup, the whole nine. There's a lot of reasons why Mogilny should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and glad that he's going to be there finally this weekend. Although I guess he's not going to be in attendance, which is unfortunate. Something popped up and he was unable to make it live. But congratulations from Dave and I. Any other memories from either Mogilny or any of the other inductees that sticks out to you?
Well, Jumbo Joe will always be famous for that post-game interview when was it Thomas Hertl that scored 4 goals in that one game? And again, I think it was Martin Biron. It was like the game that like retired him. I just remember the comments. I won't repeat the comments because we won't be. We get a little bit of trouble if I repeated the comments.
It's a PG-13 comment, rated R comment.
Right. Yeah, I like Jumbo. just remembering him from the All or Nothing series too. He was a big character in that.
Right.
Zdeno Chara, man, you just absolute freak. I just remember anytime Phil Kessel would play against the Bruins, and like Randy Carlyle tried his absolute best to get him away from Zdeno Chara. It was quite like a defenseman has that aura about him when teams are trying to game plan around him.
Exactly. And that's what he was a mutant on skates, like an absolute mutant out there. So, it was really cool. Really good to see, those guys they'll get their moment this weekend. They'll be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. And interesting enough, too, usually the Toronto Sport Card Expo ends up lining up on the same weekend. So they get a couple of the inductees to show up on the weekend and do signings. So it looks like Duncan Keith, Jennifer Botterill, are those the only two? I think those might be the only two that are going to be there that are inducted this year. But Patrick Marleau, who will be eligible next year, is going to be there on the Saturday, as well as who else is going to be there? Matt Sundin actually is going to be signing this weekend at the Toronto Sport Card Expo. That's going to be a busy, busy day. That'll be a long, long line. Matthew Nyes also going to be there on Friday, along with Steven Lorentz. So they'll both be there later today, Friday. Nick Antropov. So there's a big contingent of Maple Leafs. If you're an autograph seeker or a member, you like to sign memorabilia, this is kind of your time to do it this weekend. All those players are going to be there, and you could buy yourself, a ticket, an autograph ticket, and get something signed by some of your favorite players. Ben Danford's going to be there on Saturday as well. Patrice Bergeron's going to be there. Who else? That's pretty cool. Willie O'Ree, Mike Modano, Darcy Tucker. There's a lot of really cool. Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be there as well on Saturday. I know. Devon White, former Blue Jay World Series winner, Devon White. Still sucks that they couldn't close it out.
Man, it's funny. Anytime I'm hearing any like radio guests for the World Series, it's just.
Hey, you think Bo comes back? I know it's Locked On Leafs, but you think Bo comes back? Bieber came back. That kind of surprised me. Came back, signed his player option.
I'm not surprised Bieber came back. I think he
more so the option that he signed the player option. That part is what was surprising.
Yeah, no, that's true. Bo, I feel like unless a team blows him away in terms of an offer, I just like the fact that I'm sure he wants to finish what he started here with Vladdy. And the two of them have a really good bond. But I think a team is going to give him like shortstop, second base. That's the other thing too. A part of it as well, the role. So he wants to be here. I think he wants to stay. It's just it's
funny the parallels, right? That was made between the Leafs and the Jays for so many years. Like Vladdy and Matthews, like those were the two guys, the leaders of the group. Obviously, they both signed long term, and then Marner and Bo Bichette were kind of the guys that were like the number twos. Marner left. Now I'm curious. Bo Bichette, 1 year later, is a free agent. I guess technically the same season, a free agent as well. He has an opportunity to leave, or he could stay. So I'll be curious to see if he follows in Marner's footsteps and exits stage left, or if he sticks around. I guess the big difference is the Jays had some success and a reason to come back and fight for another chance at a championship. The Leafs, not so much. So I guess that's kind of the difference there. But I always found it funny. The how like almost interchangeable the cores were in that perspective. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Let's get into this weekend's games. 2 games, Boston, Carolina. So we'll preview those next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Rugiet. Let's be real, making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've heard them all before. It's just stress, I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body needs just a little extra support, and that's where Rugiet comes in. Rugiet.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rugiet makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online with no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private, and it's all handled by real doctors. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. Visit Rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so they know that we sent you. Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you here. I might actually show you. I'm at the Sport Card Expo this weekend, and I grabbed a couple of cards. I was there earlier today, Thursday night, to call it the preview night. It's only open for 4 hours, but I got a couple of cool Maple Leafs cards. Would you like to see them, Dave?
Let's do it. Let's see what we got. What's the haul?
I'll show you a couple nice cards. I gotta take this effect off though, or else it ain't gonna work. Now you can see them in a hotel. But anyway, so I'll show you. I thought that this is pretty cool. A little Morgan Riley rookie patch.
Ooh,
yeah, the patch is like the maple leaf, which I thought was awesome. Just a sick patch, number to 75. Steven Lorentz, Future Watch Auto. This is called an inscribed version, and there's only 50 of them that are made, and it's inscribed with their first goal.
Oh, cool.
So that's pretty sick. Yeah, a little Stevie Lorentz inscribed. This is a cool card. This is Nazem Kadri, the top patch auto.
Nazem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little Nazem Kadri, Mr. 1000 games himself. Cool little patch auto there. Nice. Lots of color breaks as well. And picking this guy up a little bit. Little top 6 Nicky Bobby. Little top 6 Nicky Bobby. Yeah, rookie patch auto here from the Cup, number 2.
How much?
49.
How much more do you spend on that this year versus last year?
You know what? It was still priced relative to last year's pricing, and I'm like, you know what? Let's pick this card up because he's picking it up on the ice. So I thought, you know what? If top 6 Nick becomes a thing, and this guy starts to get it going here, I think this is a card that could go up in value in due time. So kind of a speculation ad, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think you're spending a little bit more money on his cards this year than you would have done a year ago, especially after the last week or so where he's played really well. And they'll have an opportunity again this weekend against the Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins. You know, top 6 Nick will continue to play in the top 6 and play on that second line with John Tavares and Bobby McMahon. We'll start with the Boston game, and obviously the Bruins, not what they used to be. I think we all, know that they're no longer kind of the beasts of the East, but hey, they played pretty well this season, and they're above 500. Technically, they're above the Maple Leafs in the standings by 1 point. They've won 7 of their last 10 games, so Boston's playing well. What are you expecting in this game tomorrow night?
Well, like the Bruins, we know. Well, first off, Fraser Minton revenge goal, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, you can bet that. Oh yeah, go to FanDuel, Fraser Minton, $5 on an anytime goal, probably gonna happen. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, they beat Ottawa. Yesterday. Yeah. Well, actually, technically Thursday.
Thursday evening. Yeah.
Because we're recording
3-2 in OT
midnight. Yeah. Like Boston, they're on paper they're not great, but they just rattled off 5 in a row.
I think they're winning games. It's weird, man. It's been a serious. They won a bunch of games to start. They went 3-0 to start the year, and then they lost 5 in a row, and now they've won a bunch of games in a row here. So they've been a very streaky team this season. But yeah, last night was their 5th straight win. But they're all tight. They're all close games. Right? It's Ottawa. they won 3-2. The Islanders 4-3. Carolina 2-1. Buffalo 4-3. Two of them needed overtime. One went to a shootout. So it's not like they're crushing teams. They're just kind of hanging in there and finding a way to get it done. And Toronto can't let them hang around. That's what I think we know about this team. And I know it's not the same Bruins that they were. There's no Marchand, there's no Chara, there's no Bergeron, but Pasta's still there. David Pastrnak is still cooking out there in
I know the
Boston.
Leaf killer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the Leafs, although they've played really well, they've won 5 of the last 6 games themselves. Both teams coming in playing hot, right? Both teams undefeated in the month of November. So we'll see who can kind of keep that up.
Well, and like you like the last 5, it's funny because like the last 5 games have all been close, but their collective goaltending stats have been atrocious.
For Boston?
Yeah, for both goalies. 3.40 goals against average, 891 save percentage combined for the two goalies.
That's on the season?
On the season so far. Like it's
they had 2 games. They gave up a touchdown to Ottawa and a touchdown to Anaheim right before this run here.
Yeah,
that probably did some damage.
And the funny thing is you think like Jeremy Swayman's got a good run of games. He's played 9 games, and Korpisalo has played 7.
So it's been more of a split. Yeah,
they paid Jeremy Swayman so much money for him to split duties with Jonas Korpisalo.
Yeah, that's
which
great.
I mean, I'm not complaining because right now they're both not playing very well. I mean, Swayman's been playing a bit better of late. I'm just checking the splits right now.
So Korpisalo played last night, had a 909 save percentage, but Swayman had played the 2 games prior, had a 909 save percentage against the Islanders and a 966 save percentage, allowed just 1 goal on 29 shots against Carolina.
Yeah,
but they get the win there.
The last 2 games in November, Swayman's got a 934 save percentage and not 1.93 goals against in the 2 wins he's had.
Yeah.
So like
seems like he's playing the tougher opponents too. So I'd expect Swayman in net against Toronto. And he's played very well against Toronto throughout his career as well.
He has, but he's been very shaky on the road. He's been nails at home, really good at home. On the road, not so much. But yeah, he's had Toronto's number over the years. So that's what I think is going to make it difficult for the Leafs is if Swayman's on his game. That's just going to make it hard. But I also think the Leafs offensively have really found a groove. And so like that should give them confidence. I mean, they should be able to beat Boston. I know Boston's record looks better, but I think it looks better than how they're playing. I think they're like the 5-game win, like before the 5-game win streak, that like this team was not seen as a contender.
It's been streaky. They won 3 in a row, then they lost a bunch of games. Now they've won a bunch of games. So let's get the losing streak back on track here for the Bruins. Shout out to Morgan Geekie though. Like I thought he was I had him as like a regression candidate. Had his first 30-goal season last year. He's got 10 goals in 16 games so far, and it's a big reason for why that team is winning games. He keeps scoring goals. So good for Geekie. That's someone that the Leafs are definitely going to have to aim to shut down. Him and Pastrnak together. They got to figure out a way to stop that. Pavel Zacha too. 14 points so far through 16 games. So that's the game against the Boston Bruins. But the tougher matchup is going to be the following night against the Carolina Hurricanes. What do you expect in that one?
Yeah, I mean that's a team that's, every year we expect them to take this next big step. I feel like they've had a struggle to get talent into the building, but I mean they've got, I think they got the best goal differential in the Eastern Conference right now.
Tell you in a sec. Yes, they do. Plus 13. Yeah.
Jackson Blake has been actually, pretty decent as a 20-year-old. Shout out former Leaf Jason Blake. That is his son.
Yes, correct.
So he's been, like they've lost some players. We know what happened with the Mikko Rantanen deal. They lost Martin Nikash out of it. So it's, a guy like Jackson Blake has been thrown into duty a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, they end up signing Nick Ehlers. How's he doing this year? Actually, I think
Not
he's not
not as
good.
not as good. No, not as good as you think. Like he's not.
Yeah, just 2 goals through 13 games.
Like I'm like scrolling down to get to his name. Like Taylor Hall has the same number of points. Like Taylor Hall has the same stats as Nick
You
Ehlers.
know, that's former MVP Taylor Hall.
It's also I'm not making anywhere close to what Nick Ehlers is making Taylor Hall as well. 33-year-old Taylor Hall too. Like Nick Ehlers is 29, so younger. It just feels like with certain players like this in Carolina, they play a style that doesn't lend to certain players not very well. It's gonna take some time to adjust. But like somebody said that to me, like, but yeah, but Nick Leaders played for Winnipeg, who also played more of a responsible structured style. So yeah, not a great start for him there. So like Aho, Jarvis, Blake, those are the guys. If you're the Leafs, that's the guys that can hurt you if on Carolina. And if you're the Leafs, this is an opportunity.
Jacob Slavin too. Actually, Slavin's been out for a little bit for them.
That's a big
game against Toronto too.
We know how much he means to them on that blue line.
Oh, totally.
So that's good if the Leafs are able to miss Slavin there. And right now the Leafs are sitting 4th in the Atlantic. They can surpass Boston, and Boston does have 2 games in hand. They played 16 games. They've played the most. I think Nashville played a lot of games this year so far. So like I'm not a standings watcher really at this point in the year, but the Leafs have some making ground to make up, and they're at
home. Boston and Carolina. Where do you think they rank in the standings this year? Currently,
just above the Leafs.
Boston and Carolina, 6-7.
No.
6-7.
You were just waiting. Where's Luke Wilson? I need to get Luke Wilson on the phone. I need to get. I need to get the overdrive Boston guys 6, here.
Carolina at 7. I saw that and I'm like, no way. I gotta pull that up. I gotta hit him with a 6-7.
Where's Hayes at? I need to tell him you're doing that 6-7 thing again. I'll never forget that clip.
I know. They had no. Have you not seen that or heard that every single day of your life since that day,
dude? Any chance a kid has to be on the jumbotron, this is what I'm seeing. And I'm like, guys, it's not original anymore when you have 5 or 6 other kids doing it too.
It's the modern dab. Remember the dab and the floss? Like
they still dab. They still do that stuff.
Yeah, we sound old. Carolina, by the way,
old man Yeller.
We talk about the Maple Leafs having a putrid power play. The Carolina Hurricanes power play right now, 10.8%. Somehow worse than Toronto. Like that's got to be the last place. I would imagine the league's worst power play at that point. Yeah, it is. It's the league's worst power play, 10.8%, and just an 82% penalty kill. So if you're Toronto, I mean, the margins are going to be thin here. But if you can win the special teams battle, I think that's where you got to try and take advantage. You score an extra goal on the power play, which that power play's got to get cooking anyways. Got to get going. I think you get one on Carolina. That'll give you a good chance, a little bit of a leg up here for them moving forward to try and get the dub. So that to me is going to be a big key. Special teams battle. Got to stay structured too. They always seem to be like really quality games against the Hurricanes every time these two teams face each other. We've seen some high scoring games as well. But the Leafs have won the last 2. They won both games last year, or it's 2 of the 3 games last year. They won 4-1, 6-3, and then Carolina won 6-3 in Carolina last year in their first meeting. So the Leafs have won the last 2 against the Hurricanes. We'll see if they can win this one as well. Anything else you wanted to mention before we take off for the evening, Dave?
No, looking forward to some Leaf hockey back to back on the couch.
It's gonna be a fun time. Also, when we come back on Monday, we'll break down the games, and I'll let you know if I pick up any other nice stuff while I'm out there. Anything you want me to keep an eye out for you, Dave? Oh, you like memorabilia and whatnot? Anything you might be in the market for?
I mean, I'm all about that Leaf stuff. So, I
I'll
don't.
keep an eye.
Mike, hey, Mike's gonna be like, "Yo, I got a buyer here who's looking for this." That he's gonna be one of those guys at the card show.
Oh yeah, I'll for a fee. I'll take
Yeah,
my
thanks.
10% cut to making the deal happen. All right, that'll
Supposed to
do for
get
us
you
for
Italian.
today on the podcast. I'll get my points. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at D_Morassutti, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys on Monday. Enjoy the games. Boston on Saturday, Hurricanes on Sunday. Back to back. Should be a lot of fun. We'll recap it all on Monday. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.